this war needs to be ended in Ukraine. This enemy must be stopped here and not allowed to advance further west. So this is why, we are confident that we will get these fighter jets. It's just a matter of, making quick decisions and understanding that time is what Russia uses as weapon. Okay, so we have to step up our efforts as a coalition of free nations and make sure that we defeat the enemy in 2023.
Nearly a year ago, when the war in Ukraine started, one of the country's key weaknesses was seen as its limited air force. But in the event, the Ukrainians have held out well in the air against the much bigger Russian forces. But if Russia is ever to be beaten out of Ukraine, then more fighter jets will surely be needed. The UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says nothing is off the table, but then again, there aren't any planes currently on the table. President Zelensky is going to Brussels today to make the case for help. Can he succeed? Let's speak to Yuriy Sak, who's an advisor to Ukraine's defence minister. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can you just clarify for us, Yuriy, the type of fighter jets that you want? Are they ones that Britain has or ones that America has?
The type of fighter jets that the Ukrainian armed forces require for our defense capabilities to be improved, as well as for our counteroffensive capabilities to be increased, are the fourth-generation fighter jets. Now, there are different types of these fourth-generation fighter jets, and different countries have different types of these planes and platforms. If you look at the situation from the perspective of the military needs, then there are, for example, such a platform as F-16 is probably the most universal platform, and this is why it is most suitable. But at the same time, first of all, I would like to thank the United Kingdom for again showing leadership the same way the UK has shown leadership in the issue of providing Ukraine with tanks. And when the talk was about tanks, we of course also knew that there were Challenger 2 tanks in Britain, there were Leopards in Europe, there were Abrams tanks in the US. Look, this is a very intense warfare, and we require all the support that we can get in order to be able to defend our land, defend the common values of the European continent, and to defeat the enemy.
What do you see as from your point of view, what is the sticking point when it comes to Britain actually sending or giving you jets, fighter jets, the fourth generation fighter jets? What is the reluctance?
Well, it is our understanding that the UK government and Mr. Rishi Sunak already has asked his government to study and examine this question in detail and to determine, which platforms can be provided to Ukraine. Now, at this stage, what is important is that the training of pilots will begin hopefully soon, and this is a very important first step. And I would also like to say that it's not just about the training of pilots, because, there is also a need to train engineers who are supporting the fighter jets, because for roughly for every fighter jet, there is a crew required of 25 to 30 people who are maintaining them. So the training program will be essential, and it's a very, very important first step.
What we have been told, though, is that the Defence Secretary, who I'm sure you've been in touch with, has been told to look into sending jets as part of a long-term solution. What do you think long-term means?
Well, long-term means that even after Ukraine wins this war, which is inevitable with the support of our allies, Russia as an aggressive state, as a terrorist state, will not go away. So Ukraine will have to get used to living in this new format of European security, whereby Ukraine will continue to be on the eastern flank of the NATO alliance, if you like. So for us to be able to sustain this defense capability long term, of course, we will need to get the long-term support of our allies. So this is how we understand the long-term solution.
And what about Macron and Scholz? Do you think that they can help you?
Well, we can only just look back a couple of weeks ago, and after the UK has pledged Challenger 2 tanks to Ukraine, then other allies have followed suit, and they have pledged, Leopards and Abrams. So we hope that this will be the case here as well.
I mean, President Macron has kind of signalled that he might be open to this idea of fighter jets, but of course, Olaf Scholz doesn't seem minded to. Do you think that your president, Volodymyr Zelensky, can change his mind?
We surely hope so. And, in the past, we have seen that the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, we actually, when he said that they were not hesitating, they were discussing, right? So let's hope that this is, again, the case of Germany considering all the options, and sooner or later they will come forward with a proposal, and they will come forward with the support in terms of fighter jets.
Okay, finally, Yuriy Sak, can I just ask you to put this into context for us? Volodymyr Zelensky's come here. He said, "Give us wings for freedom." He's talked about these jets. He's staked pretty much everything. Everything's focusing on that. If you don't get these jets, what is that going to mean for Ukraine?
Look, this is not an option. We have received so far, sometimes with delay, but sooner or later we receive everything that we request. And it happens because our allies understand very well what is at stake. It happens because our allies understand that this war needs to be ended in Ukraine. This enemy must be stopped here and not allowed to advance further west. So this is why, we are confident that we will get these fighter jets. It's just a matter of, making quick decisions and understanding that time is what Russia uses as weapon. Okay, so we have to step up our efforts as a coalition of free nations and make sure that we defeat the enemy in 2023.
Yuriy, thank you for talking to us. That's Yuriy Sak. He is an advisor to Ukraine's defence minister.